The selection tool, or the black arrow, allows me to select entire objects. And notice that this object has several points on it. What if I wanted to select a single point or a group of points for editing purposes? This tool will not allow me to do it. I would have to go to the direct selection tool, or the white arrow. Clicking this enables me to select a single point or a group of points and edit. Notice that all of these points are highlighted, and I can tell because they're filled in with a solid color. The reason they're highlighted is because my previous selection made with the black arrow carries over. So I will have to click off of it and come back to it in order to make my individual selections. Now before I click on it, I want to explain something. If I click on the edge of a shape, it leaves the points open for selection. If I click in the middle of a shape, it selects every point related to that shape. If I click on an actual point, that point is selected. So those are the three things I want you to remember, and I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to come to the edge and I'm going to click. Notice that every point on this edge is white. That is showing me that nothing is selected. Now I'm going to click off of it. Now I'm going to click in the middle of the shape. Now notice that every point is a solid color. This shows me that every point on the shape is selected. Now click off of it. Now I'm going to come to one of these corners where one of these points are, and I'm going to click. Now notice that all the points are white except for the one that I clicked. That shows me that that point is selected. Now click off of it. What I usually do is I click on an edge and then I decide which points I want to edit. So in this case, I'm going to edit this point. So to do so, I'm going to click on it and it's highlighted, and now I can click and drag and edit that point. I can also select several points at one time. So let's click on the edge, and then I'm going to click on the first point. Now I'm going to hold Shift, and while holding Shift, I'm going to select the other points. And when I'm done with the selection, I'll let go of Shift. Now if I move one of these, the others follow. And it's important to understand that they don't have to be right next to each other. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and click on the edge again, and I'm going to select every other point. I'm going to select this one, and now I'm going to hold Shift, and while I'm holding Shift, I'm going to select this one, I'm going to skip this one, I'm going to select this one, skip this one, and then select this one. Now watch what happens if I move one of these selected points. Every other point moved. You can also use this tool to click and drag over an area, and everything within that area gets highlighted. And the ones that fall outside of that area don't get highlighted. So if I take one of these points that are selected in this area and I move it, every point that was selected gets moved with it. You can also rotate these selections using the rotation tool. So if I wanted this bird to look up, I would select this area. I'd select my rotation tool. I'd rotate it. I'd come back to the white arrow. And then I'd take one of these points and I would position it. Another thing that you can do with the white arrow is you can adjust the curves of an object. So for the example, I'm going to click on the edge again, and then I'm going to select one of these points on the curved edge. And notice that I can see the handle here, and if I click and hold on one of these handles, I can adjust the curve.